Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As I got here, this is going to be the June 19th update for the new season called Dynasty Awakening. I'm pretty sad they didn't go with the original Terracotta. I think it's a dual name kind of thing, so it's going to be like Dynasty Awakening Terracotta. Anyway, we're gonna read through the um well, yeah, two announcements that they have outputted. So, quickly, so APAC June 19th, we'll have the regular, oh, sorry, we'll have the new season maintenance goes from 0 hours to 1500 UTC plus 8. A good old long ass 15 hours. EU slash AMS starts at June 18th, 1700 to June 19th, 800 UTC plus 1. The maintenance is expected to last for 15 hours, and of course, after the maintenance, we're going to get 30,000 bronze coins, 1,500 honor, and 75 unit medals. Along with the update, we have the following Dynasty Awakening season unit pre-orders are now available. So you got the 4-star unit Halberd Elites Deluxe pre-order pack. I'm surprised that they don't give the normal packs anymore, but anyway, you got the Halberd Elite Challenge token times 5. The item can be used starting from June 30th, 2025. So that is when their release date, so 2 weeks from now. You also get the exclusive avatar times 1, 10% discount coupon times 2. I don't know why it says tradable. A bit confusing. I'm wondering if you can put it on the market. We also have the 5-star unit Empire Chariot Deluxe pre-order pack. Includes Empire's Chariot Challenge token times 7. The unit can be used starting from July 14th, 2025. So that is a good old month away. Exclusive avatar and 20% discount coupon times 2. So of course the Albert Elite Deluxe Pack will only be available from June 19th, so after the maintenance, all the way to June 30th, 100 hours. So it's going to be not at the end, it's going to be in the morning. Hmm, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's going to be so at the literally at the stroke of midnight on the 29th, heading into the June 30th, they'll close off the purchase. Same with the Empire's Chariots. It's gonna be available from June 19th. Whoa, hang on. June 19th to July 10th. So you won't be able to purchase it after the July 10th before maintenance. Okay, I mean, that makes sense. It's probably going to be July 10th, 0 hours. So you can see these are the unit cards. These are the exclusive avatars. Again, I'm not too fussed about the avatars. Uh, Coupons, again, not really fussed on the coupons, whether or not you plan to buy these or not. Um, for how I understand, these things are not very good for pricing. I believe like I believe the whole 5 set challenge is 4,000. 4,000 for this one, 7,000 for the 5-star, and I don't think they discount it, or maybe they do. Um, anyway, so if you want to buy it, you can buy it. No one's stopping you. That's the thing. But remember, you can always just complete the unit challenges. We have the new season bonuses. So you unlock battle passes, get leadership reduction doctrine. So they're kind of doing this every season now. So sign in during the event to get silver warrants. Whoa, okay, something new. Silver warrant times 1, blessing 7 days times 1. I think the blessing 7 days is the 30% XP one. I think it might be that. It's something similar to premium, but it's not premium. It's I think it's just EXP, but it might be something else. Complete 7 days. Complete 7 day sign-in quest to unlock additional rewards. You got the seasonal rare doctrine selection times one. If you unlock the Dynasty Awakening Battle Pass during the event, you will receive the limited time doctrine selection box selection chest times three. Each chest includes powerful doctrines such as Epic Leadership Doctrines and Epic Combat Doctrine. These doctrines are available during the new season, expires after the season ends, and can be removed for free, but cannot be used for doctrinal alchemy or other consumption actions. Um, Honestly, like again, all of these items are cool, but the systems themselves are really terrible, especially for new players. So it's good that they're giving you something to play around with for the season, and if it comes every season, it's basically like a free reset kind of thing. If you pre-order the Dynasty Awakening Battle Pass, you will receive the same rewards when the season begins. Event time, June 19th after maintenance, next new season before maintenance. Oh, the season afterwards. So this event time lasts until the until the next season after Dynasty Awakening. And as you can see, yep, that's the blessing. This is the silver warrant. Haven't seen that before. It's a new item. And of course, you got the selection chest, but this one's temporary, so that's concerning. Mostly because it's just like I don't like temporary stuff. Stuff that expires, especially for like progression-based things, is really stupid. Uh, Unless you actually make a mode that has some kind of like soft or hard reset every season, I can see that working. But CB doesn't do that. And it shouldn't because it's just really, really expensive. Or, I mean, like, you can buy treatises, I think. They say you can't buy treatises, but I think, like, there's a lot of, like, skirting around. But anyway, what I mean is, um, it would just be, yeah, they just don't do that kind of reset thing. And it would be cool if they could do that, but, um, I don't have much hope for it, really. Anyway, we got rotation in the Doctrine Spirit. Oh, hang on, wait. Doctrine Spirit limited purchase reset and new doctrine in the cleric. A cleric? I don't know how to say that. Doctrine selection. So it's just in the special doctrine selection chests. So they're adding. So the epic leadership doctrine has been reset, so you can purchase that with the Doctrine Spirit. Of course, the max exchange of one. Epic Balance Doctrine has been added into the Rare Doctrine selection. That is weird. It should it should be saying the uh Claire, not Claire, Ileric. Hmm. I don't know how to say that. Anyway, the Epic Balance Doctrine when above 50% health, damage dealt reduced by 5%. Damage taken is reduced by 6% when below 50% health. Damage dealt is increased by 6%, and damage taken is increased by 5%. This doctrine is trash. Don't ever use it. It is awful. The only time you would actually use it is that if you're completely negating one of the penalties but on a unit that just doesn't care. Like you could use this as an extra 6% damage reduction for units like ISGs who normally stay on like top health and it's just like you don't want them to be below 50% health because you just take extra damage. So it's a really terrible doctrine. Um, you either need to increase the bonuses to be 8% above the penalties, um, or just remove the penalties in the first place. That way it'd actually be worth using. Unfortunately, it's not. Um, so of course you can apparently obtain this Doctrine selection by reaching level 100 in the current battle pass. You grant one Doctrine Spirit and completing the fifth stage of the 5-star unit challenges grants one Doctrine Spirits. I have did not adjust that properly. I'm just looking at my recording and it's like, my top of my head's kind of being cut off. June 19th after maintenance to next season before maintenance. Um, I don't know why they have a time limit. That seems a bit weird. It should just be a permanent change. Or they're talking about how to obtain the Doctrine Spirits. The entire rotation, we have the Thundercloud, Destiny, Judgment, and the Lei Long attire chests are now available. So that's the Legendary Shortbow, Legendary Poleaxe, and the Legendary Mount attire. It goes from June 19th after maintenance to June 10th before maintenance, and these are the graphics for. Well, they missed out the Thundercloud. I actually hate getting hit by a Thundercloud. Um, it it's it. I mean, it's a bit messy on the visual effects, and in DM it's really bad against units and stuff. Like when they had the whole spreading, you just see bunch of thunderclouds everywhere. It was really funny. It made like shortbow look like they're doing a lot because it's just like visually messy and visually impactful, but they were doing nothing. So oh, new arrival in the attire exchange. So you can get the Thundercloud for 300 curios if you've managed to bank those curios. They don't give out golden. They don't give out those golden or silver keys as often as they used to. So I actually have not moved from like my 250 curios. Um, so yeah, that's pretty sad. I would say. Goes from June 19th after maintenance to July 10th before maintenance. And of course, you got the graphics there. Antique attire chest rotation, new arrivals in the exchange shop. So we're saying, well, not saying goodbye, but oh wait, no, we are saying goodbye. No, that's wrong. This is the wrong set. The antique attire chest will remove the Eternal Season sealed attires and add the Avalon Season sealed attire. After maintenance, new attires will be available in the G attire exchange shop. Yeah, no, these are these are the wrong ones. Um, it shouldn't be removing the Eternals ones either. Oh my God, what is my timing for this? Um, I'm pretty sure it should be adding the Dragon Rise. Yeah, the Dragon Rise attire, because that was 4 seasons ago. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they messed up. They messed up here. They messed up here. They're not adding back the. They're definitely not adding back the Sengoku attires. They're adding the Dragon Rise ones. I'm pretty sure. I was on the PTR. I mean, man, I could just take a look and just go find that. But anyway, just continuing on real quick. Progression pack seasonal challenge bundle rotation. Available packs. Handpicked Eastern season unit pack. We got the Namkan Archers, Crescent Monks, the Onimusha. Handpicked Western season unit pack. One Janissaries, Berserkers, uh, Milones, and the Western season unit pack. Two Condottieri Guards, Samachian Paladins, and the Kriegsbrothers. Personally, I don't like how they wrap the Janissaries as Western. They're kind of Middle Eastern. They're Middle Eastern kind of like. Um, they're definitely like Middle Eastern. They're not west, but they're probably west of China. So it's just like anything west of China is Western. So it's like, ugh. And maybe I'm just biased as well because I learned a lot of like European history. So it's just like the Middle East and the Far East kind of thing because there's nothing west of Europe. And then you have like, and then of course you have the Middle East, which is like, oh, this is the west side, this is the east side. Anyway, I don't think they could make a unit pack by themselves. There's only two actual seasons that would count as many as the Middle East, which is the um, Blood of the Empire and the Scorpio seasons. So I do love my Blood of the Empires. Unfortunately, like a lot of balance changes and things have ruined ruined them for me. But enough about that. These can be purchased from June 19th after maintenance to July 17th before maintenance. So quite a long time, about 5 whole weeks. And of course, on to the much bigger update log. Dynasty Awakening, the Terracotta's Art of War. Wow, what a really long ass name for this season. So the seasonal units, we got a little bit of background. Quinn's Footbow. So the Quinn Footbow, rising from ancient depths of the Terracotta, crossbowmen serve as the deadly long-range support for the Emperor, clad in practical armor and wielding formidable foot-drawn bows. They strike with precision from 100 to 150 meters. Their volleys darken the sky, piercing armor, shattering bones, and tearing banners, all to decisively end wars with their strategic firepowers, embodying order and strength. They march to bring wars to a decisive close. Combat style. The footbow represents the most advanced ranged weapon of its time, and the Quinn's footbow were among the most elite units in Great Quinn's rigorously trained. They, most elite units in Great Quinn. I think it's Quinn. I'm pretty sure someone who actually speaks Chinese is just going to tell me how to actually say this. Rigorously trained, they possess exceptional strength and skill, sitting, drawing, and firing in one seamless motion. Their bow will spark. Wow, that is bad English there. Their bolts will spark, inflict continuous damage and fear upon enemies. When the time is right, they decisively detonate these sparks to deliver a fatal blow. Unit characteristics. Targets hit by the footbow will be marked with spark, stacking up to 10 times. The higher the stacks, the greater the damage upon detonation. The footbow is a large crossbow with long range that can pierce and attack two targets. However, since it is a handheld crossbow, the crossbowman moves slowly and cannot push siege engines or climb ladders. All attacks require issuing a command to execute. Skill design. Skill 1, set up slash pack up footbow. The unit must set up footbow before attacking and must pack it up before moving again. Skill 2, attack area. Launches a long range attack in an area chosen by the hero. The system automatically adjusts the firing angle based on distance for precise coverage. And skill 3, spark detonation. Detonate all the enemies with spark within range. The damage depends on the spark stack, and you get a nice little graphics. I'll be honest, my experience with these guys on the PTR is pretty strange. They've gone through a massive rework since the first PTR. I didn't bother to make an update, which probably I should have, but the time frame was a bit short and I didn't have very much time. But just to give you a kind of very quick rundown, they're not very accurate. They're pretty. They're not very accurate. They have pretty bad accuracy in comparison to like the tier three. It's kind of within reason. But when you're trying to shoot things from really long range, it's really bad. That being said, though, it is now a 40-man unit, so the sheer volume, and especially like with high density of units, it doesn't really matter. The the spark passive doesn't deal very much continuous damage. It's not a lot in comparison to some other things. It does stack up a lot 10 times. The stacking does seem to have some kind of weird limiting factor where a whole bunch of them just can't hit you all at once. I think they can only apply a stack um like once a frame or something, or like once every so often. So they can't just hit you with 10 bolts and just instantly stack you like that. Unfortunately, they actually require a couple of shots to go in. Their their mechanic is kind of cool. Right now, I think the payoff is kind of too deadly. If you have a 10 stack of sparks, especially for heroes, you will be one shot. It's a straight up execution style. It's straight up an execution. You don't even see damage from the sparks itself. It just straight up execute you. Um, these guys in particular will be difficult to kind of like get online. They're reasonable in terms of like just total DPS when we're looking at just tier 3 range. If not a little bit too weak, they do offer a lot of other things though. They have uh, um, a little bit of block break, about 100. Um, but there is a problem. Well, not a problem. They still have instant block break as well. So this is the weird thing. This instant block break works against anything that's not in formation. So there are there's like certain protections, but if you have a shield and these guys are shooting you, they will just instantly just shatter your shields. It's an instant pierce kind of thing, so you will be weakened for like the 2 or 3 seconds with the armor pierce state. So that's just really annoying. And advancing on these guys, you have to use abilities to advance on these guys because those advances do have protections that stops the instant pierce, but I don't know. I do not like the gimmick here where they want this unit to instantly pierce through shields. Um, so that could be an issue. That could be an issue if you ever run into that. Um, but besides those issues, they're a very difficult unit to get online, and of course, they got their long range. You can take advantage of their long range. High minimum base 25%. So they'll be doing minimum damage to a lot of targets after shooting like super long range or against like high armored targets. They'll do high minimum damage. So you got a set minimum damage. So you're still doing not a decent amount. I would say a good enough amount. It would only really matter when you're hitting like higher level targets where this minimum damage is going to kind of excel. It definitely makes this unit kind of strangely specialized at taking out high value targets because of how their sparks work and their high minimum damage plus their execution. Um, these guys got gimmicks to work with. But enough about the Quinn footbow. We're on to the Halberd Elites. Rising from the ancient earth, the Halberd Elite serves as the elite vanguards for the Eternal Emperor. Clad in the sturdy armor and wielding formidable halberds, they embody order and discipline. Their precision strikes pierce armor and shatter bones, bringing war to a decisive close. Combat style in the realm of Quinn, they are known as the sharpest blade, wielding halberds approximately 2.8 meters long. These weapons combine the features of a spearhead affixed to the front end of a dagger axe. Dagger axe. They can hook, pull, and thrust with deadly precision. Masterful in their techniques, the halberd elites launch preemptive strikes in the battlefield, swiftly following up with ferocious attacks that overwhelm foes. Under the stern reward and penalty system, they exhibit unparalleled bravery and invincibility, instilling fear in their enemy. So, characteristic: the elite main battle unit of Queen wielding halberds as their weapon. Utilize hooking and dragging attacks combined with strategic movement to control and suppress enemies effectively. Upon killing enemies, they gain health recovery and a temporary boost. Personally, I don't like any kind of sustain. I really wish they removed it. Still trying to get that. Still suggested that they remove it, but in the end, they kind of just wanting to keep that in. I don't know. I feel like it's a mistake to have sustain in a game like CB because we're all about large battles, a lot of attrition. Things need to die. You can't have units that just fight on perpetually. Anyway, unit design. We have skill 1, Cloud Cleave. Charge in the designated area. Ooh, whoa, hang on. Cloud Cleave. Charge in the designated direction, dragging enemies towards them, ignoring all defenses. That is not what that does. That does not. I mean, I think they just made a mistake here. Um, Cloud Cleave, it does a charging thrust attack followed by a hooking pull attack. The thrust attack is blockable. The pull attack is unblockable. So when it says ignoring all defenses, it means that it ignores block. Um, so yeah, that's so they did really badly on the description for this one because that's not because you can't designate the direction. It's an auto target, so they'll automatically lock on. This one you can, the next one you can designate. So skill 2, Storm Surge. Immediately break free from control effects and retreat in the chosen directions, hooking enemies in front and pulling them away. Damage taken is reduced during the skill. Still making another mistake here. Um, they don't recover from CC, so they don't immediately break free from CC. What they do instead is what they should do is retreat in the chosen direction, hooking enemies in front and pulling them away. Um, damage is damage taken is reduced, and they are immune to control effects during the skill. That is an important factor because in the bottom line veterancy, they have the last node particularly states that they recover from control effects. So do not be fooled. Storm Surge doesn't recover you from control effects. It has control immunity during the skill animation. You need to go bot line if you want to get that recovery effect. So there's that. Um, Another thing is that like probably not mentioned here. Clown Cleave has block on it. I'm trying to suggest that they remove that. It is really powerful, and I don't like it at all. But I can tell you right now that the Halberd Elites Clown Cleave is completely spammable. You're basically using it kind of like a Queen's Knight, if you ever played those guys with their running through, and a Wu Wei mixed together because the thrust attack has immunity. In this case, it has block, and these guys just hit like a truck. They basically it's two attacks in one ability. So you're outputting less damage than Wu Wei, but almost as much as Wu Wei. So the margin of difference is like the margin of difference is like 40%, I think. I think Wu Wei do like 40% extra. I think Wu Wei do 40% more damage with their brutal sweep than Cloud Cleave does, but you have to account for Cloud Cleave's thrust attack and pull attack. Um, so there's that. In terms of like relative speed, Wu Wei is still faster, and that's kind of like one of the reasons that Wu Wei still out DPSs this guy. But in a direct confrontation, the block actually keeps these guys pretty healthy. The block is really tough to break through. They have it's really strong. The block is really strong. There's not very many units that have enough block break to to challenge the Cloud Cleave while also getting completely murdered by the unblockable attack. That also causes a knockdown, by the way. The Storm Surge causes a upgraded throw, the same one as the Spartans, I believe, the Spartan Kick, or maybe a little bit toned down. And finally, we have the Empire Chariots. Chariots were used by the Queen State in warfare for both offense and defense. Assault chariots engaged enemies directly, while defensive chariots were used for garrison duties and transporting supplies. In general historical records, assault chariots are commonly referred to as chariots, and the records of small-scale chariot battles can date back to the Xia dynasty. During the Warring States period, chariots were the dominant force on the battlefield. Organized in formations, they charged enemy infantry phalanxes. Just wow. Uh, they charged enemy infantry phalanxes, disrupting their lines and creating opportunities for following infantry attacks. At the time, the number of chariots often served as a key indicator of a state's military strength. High-ranking generals commonly commanded on chariots, and even rulers would sometimes take to the battlefield in person, inspiring their troops. Now, do mind that um, it's a little bit of fluff, but in my understanding is that there is no real determination on if chariots directly charged infantry lines. Most notably is that especially since chariots were big and like cumbersome, crashing into people would actually um, cause issues. So chariots always were used on flat ground because like bombs and stuff would just make it completely unwieldy. But besides that, um, they were more or less used as like harassers, of course, because of cavalry speed. They would normally also have range or like archers or spear throwers or range weaponry on the backs of chariots to harass enemy lines and stuff. Never realistically never realistically charging directly into infantry lines. Definitely disrupting and creating opportunities for chaos because they're a very chaotic tool. So like disrupting their line is probably their main goal, but never ever would have directly charged into enemy lines. This is something that um, this was something that would never actually happen, especially against a well um, well disciplined army. But again, you'd probably be able to find like instances of like chariots apparently just running down people. And yeah, that would happen. I mean, like you stare in the face of four horses. Doesn't that look terrifying? These horses like bigger than you. They definitely feel like they got to wait. Imagine the kind of ginormous balls you would have to not only stand in the face of that, but also just to like not, just to like not die just from impact as well. But we're playing a game kind of thing, so um, maybe I'm just maybe how I see it is that how I see it's a little bit too much fantasy elements, especially with cavalry just kind of mowing down. I don't like the idea that the chariots are just gonna mow down infantry with impunity. I definitely don't. Like. I don't like this kind of fantasy. I think a little bit more realism would be better for balance reasons, but also just for gameplay dynamic. Anyway, we also have the characteristic. Chariots is not only an assault force on the battlefield, but also serves as the warlord's command platform and a symbol of status. The chariot can charge at the front line, pursue fleeing enemies, and assist in protecting the flanks of allied units. I mean, they can do all those things. You wouldn't really want to charge into the front line unless you're trying to cause disruption and thing. But you would cause disruption in your own lines first, kind of thing. So normally you come in from the flanks and find gaps or like just go around kind of thing. Um, oh my goodness. This is also my first time looking at these things. So skill design, skill 1, Thunder Mandate. Hold the sprint key to accelerate the chariot, increasing ramming damage, but continuously consuming horse stamina. Skill 2, Squall Edict. While at high speed, press the jump key and rotate the camera to veer. The chariot will ram targets with its body, dealing massive damage and allowing you to change direction with the camera. This greatly consumes horse stamina. Though, unfortunately, I haven't gotten my hands on the PTR for these things. I'm pretty sure if I did watch the developers stream, they probably played a little the unit trailer for this one. Um, but I haven't had the opportunity to look at that too much. But just reading those skills, I feel like it is going to be a hero controlled unit, special mount basically. Um, Honestly, I don't think it's an actual unit in this case because it doesn't work independently from your hero. It works in tandem with your hero. Sorry, it is directly controlled by your hero. So, really upset about this. So it's so essentially you have created single entity, a single entity unit, and removed the hero kind of thing. So I'm a little bit upset about that. That being said, we'll have to wait and see how this plays on the battlefield. I definitely do suspect it's probably just going to be really, really horrible to face if you're infantry. Um, Maybe a little bit better if you could just shoot at it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be super range resistance as well. Or maybe not. We'll see, we'll see. Battle Pass. Level 1 Battle Pass, you get the Bloodhound. Level 50, Terracotta Guardians. Level 70, Black Cheese Seed. And level 100, you got the Warborn. So you got the Bloodbound, the Warborn. This is the Terracotta Guardian. I like most of the look. Again, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I want to feel about this half thing. Like maybe it is a cultural thing. Like, but I'm not sure how I want to feel about like this half cloth part and then just plates underneath. Again, I want to go with like more like Western designs. I'd probably like have some kind of collar of this cloth thing and just have this metal plate just be the main section. Especially like on the chest part. It just feels like you want most of the protection up high, or maybe you don't, because most of the vital organs are in the center here. Anyway, it's not a bad looking one. And then you got the black cheese steed. Again, I love me armored horses. Maybe the ornaments will make it a little bit funky, but it definitely reminds me of some kind of like Mesoamerican, like Aztec looking thing with a huge like stone art and blocks and stuff. Season Vault. During the Dynasty Awakening season, the Season Vault will feature the return of the Alexander season attires. Really? Oh my goodness. That's what's happening? Yeah, no. Okay. So we're not. So the Dragon's Rise ones. So it's the Dragon Rise ones that's getting pushed to the side. It's the Alexander one we're up to. Oh my God, I am like way off in like the kind of thing because after Alexander we have Lions Rule, then we have Spartans, and we just had. Oh my God, it was 4 seasons ago. My goodness, my timing for these is terrible. Of course, you got all of the prices changed here. So these are added to the store. They have a 20% discount, so 25 to 20, 50 to 40, and 2500 to 20. The following attires will go to their original price: the Snow Falcon, the New Dawn, and the Tiger Battalion. These are all of the Dragon Rise attires, I believe, sealed versions of them. And the Avalon hero attires are now being removed from the vaults, along with the Dragon Rise weapons, not the Avalon season weapons. So again, they always make a mistake here with the weapons. The Avalon weapons are not being removed. It is the Dragon Rise weapons that are being removed, and they also don't mention that the Alexander weapons are being added. So there we go. At the beginning of the season, a new siege battle map based on Hangul Pass will be added. Please stay tuned. Interesting. We got a dual gate. We do have a wall. Is this inside or outside the city is a question. Might be some kind of secondary wall, secondary fortification. Very interesting setup. Um, though we got the mountain passes on that side. Maybe this is Maybe this is the attacker's side, and we're looking at the walls for the defenders and kind of thing. Who knows? Who knows? But again, I definitely do like a lot of the aesthetics. It's plain and simple, and grand in scale, and also a lot of space to move around. Not that I like cavalry, but I just like not to be cramped inside a city. There's a lot of Western cities that are just very, very difficult to move around, especially with large units nowadays. And that could just be a thing. That could just be a thing. Like you could have small elite units hitting like big units and just be like taking off just a little bit each time. But they don't play around with that too much. Normally, because of like how collision works, you just shove all of your units into like one narrow corridor, and all of a sudden you have like 300 units all fighting together in like a space of like 20 like in a space of like 5 square meters. So stupid to me. World campaign. So the world key area announcement. The following servers will have Longting, Liangyun, and Ostaria unlocked, and Langyun as the focal region. Ownership of Daishen will determine the hegemon titles. APAC, so we got the Lotus Ash Sea, Dragon Rise, Jade Rock Creek, AU and AMS, Crystal Sea, and Elysium Peak. So those are the servers that correspond to the three region unlocked. Servers with a single unlocked region. The following servers will have Longting unlocked, with Longting as the focal region. Wow. Ownership of Haojing will determine the hegemon title. That is the APAC, Sage Blade, Khan of Heaven, Aurora Ridge, Hades Gate, Cereborlo, and the new Eternal Reign. We got that's yeah, new server opening, and the EU AMS, the Europa Frontier, Lion Forge, Lion Forge Fjord, Lyconia, um, Balguksa, Balguksa, don't know how to say that. Terracotta Vanguard. So there's the single unlocked region. So your guys are going to be fighting for Haoxing. Daichen is interesting. Haoxing is a terrible map. I don't like it. I can't imagine it as a territory war map. Daishen was already pretty cancer to fight. I've only ever actually experienced fighting a territory war at Daishen once. That was because like we just had enough numbers and like no one declared and we just attacked. Really long time ago. Phase one. Oh no, we were helping someone else attack. That's right. Phase one, Rising of Hero. Duration goes from 19th of June all the way to 30th of June. Whoa, it goes to 12. Okay, that's a really weird time period. So after maintenance on the 19th, it goes to the 30th on the 6th, and so that noon, so 1200 hours UTC plus 8. Available units is 3 stars and below. Equipment set, well, I mean, like, yeah, that makes sense. It unlocks at the same time as the unit does. So the epic set attributes disabled. We got the equipment set attributes are disabled. The equipment forge bonus attributes are disabled. Auxiliary unit pool is 3 stars and below. And auxiliary unit points are 6. Territorial war related content. APAC warlords from Lotus Ash Sea, Dragon Rise, and Jade Rock Creek can fight in Longting and Australia. Warlords from Sage Blade, Saga Blade, sorry, not Sage Blade. Khan of Heaven, Aurora Ridge, Hades Gates, Sarah, um, Soul. These servers can find in Longting. EU and AMS, Crystal Sea, Elysium Peak, and fight in Longting and Australia. Warlords from Europa Frontier, Lionforge Fjord, Laconia, Bolguska, and the Terracotta Vanguards can fight in Longting. Phase 2, Eve of Turmoil, goes from 30th of the 6th, 30th of the 6th, 1200 at 1200 to the 14th of the 7th at 1200 UTC plus 8. That means 4-star units are and below, 4-star and below. The equipment set attributes are enabled, but the forge bonus attributes are disabled still, so you get 4-star and below, and still these 6 unit points. Bit stingy there. For the auxiliaries, I don't think anyone uses the mercenaries anymore because they're only level 5. Seriously, you should just get rid of the auxiliary system if you're just going to hand people units now. APAC, Warlords from Lotus Ash Sea. Okay, so basically, the 3 region ones can fight in all of the regions now. So the Liang Yun's going to open up for APAC and EU AMS for the 3 region servers. In phase 3, all is chaos. It goes from 14th of the 7th to the 4th of the 8th.
Um, 4th of August, UTC plus 8. Then we have available units of 5 stars and below. We have full unlock, so we have set bonuses and forge bonuses. Auxiliary units are now 5-star and below. Obviously, you only still have 6 points. And whoa, hang on. Okay, so the 5-star gets unlocked in All Is Chaos in Phase 4. Except the Throne. Everything is the exact same as before, but instead, Territory War opens up the Haojing and Angolia capitals, while in the 3 region servers and in the single seat region servers, you all get to fight for Haojing. Um, of course, this is the same for the EU/AMS, but they made a mistake here and put everyone on the EU/AMS into fighting for Haojing, or or is that not a mistake? And Crystal Sea, Elysium Peak are only fighting for Haojing this, or only allowed to fight for Haojing, and not Angolia. So phase 5, King of Kings, goes from 18th of August to the 1st of September. UCC plus 8. 5-star and below, set bonuses, forge, yeah, all of that is the same, just territory war changes. So we have the addition of Daishen, and of course they fix it here. EU/AMS also, um, Crystal Sea and the Elysian Peak get to contend for Haojing, Daishen, and Angolia. Of course, the main capital is going to be Daishen. Oh my goodness. Useless amount of information, right? Season challenge, you got the Quinn's Footbow, complete 6 out of 8 tasks per stages. You got first stage 3-day unit trial, second stage is permanent unit, third stage is the unit exclusive rare doctrine. Quinn's Footbow blades increase ignition bolt duration by 3 seconds. Fourth stage rewards is the unit cartoon avatar. Even though they don't use the bow like that, I think it's very funny. I think it's very cute. Halberd Elites complete 8 out of the 10 tasks per stage. We have challenge unlock date June 30th, 2025 at 1200 UTC plus 8. First stage rewards, you got the 3-day unit trial. Second stage rewards, unit medal times 120. Third stage gets you the permanent unit. Fourth stage gets you the epic doctrine. The unit exclusive epic doctrine. So you got the Halberd Elite Dominion's Fury. Increase the damage of Cloud Cleave by 6% and grant an additional 300 block value during the skill. Again, I hate it. I really wish they remove it. It makes Cloud Cleave way too strong because it has a defensive component, it has an attack, well, it has a good attack component, and it has a unblockable component. So it's just like an attack that deals good damage and blocks a good amount of damage as well on a unit that primarily deals damage. Also, it has CC, and it's just like it's overloaded as heck. Heck. Well, I mean, it's overloaded by like one thing, but there's like a lot of small things that it's a bit hard to explain, and I'll just kind of like throw in like one tidbit at the other. Like Cloud Cleaves has a really good gap closing. It's crazy how far they dash when they attack. It's like Queen's Knight level thrust distance. Cute. I don't like the face in this one. I think the other face looked better. So the fifth stage gets you the unit cartoon avatar, and I what? Okay, because this is the first time I'm seeing it as well. So the Empire Chariot, complete 10 out of 12 tasks per stage. Challenge unlock date July 14th, 2025, 1200 UCC plus 8. First stage is 3-day trial. Second stage is unit exclusive rare doctrine. Empire Chariot. Right guard, right dagger axe guard can knock back enemies to protect the chariot. Interesting. Third stage reward, unit medal times 120. Fourth stage reward, permanent unit. Fifth stage reward, Doctrine Spirit season limited plus unit medal times 200. Sixth stage reward, unit exclusive epic doctrine, Empire Chariot, Axle Blade. Target sliced by the axle blade suffers extra bleeding damage. Oh, great. So you don't die instantly, is what I'm hearing. That's great. If you just die instantly to the bleed damage, then that's terrible. Seven stage reward, unit cartoon avatar, and again, like extra bleed damage, man, the amount of poison or bleed damage we're talking about, if it's anywhere in the 500 range plus, that's disgusting. Well, considering we also just had a unit health buff, so 500 is actually not that bad. So we have the season's rune. I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to read all of these things. Basically, what you want to know is they increase the reduced unit damage taken from like 3% last season up to 20%. So you get all of your on upon death runes back again, but you get more protection against units. I'm not sure how to feel about that. I think if unit damages was so high, you should have just reduced unit damage in general, but that's just me. Um, Everything is basically returning. There's no changes, so you're going to get the javelin infantry and the lance cavalry doctrines again. Interestingly enough, really would have been cool if they were to add or change those to a different unit, kind of rotate them in and out. Um, and of course, there is one other one that they did change, I believe, and that is the Stone Shell one. So increase heroes max health by 2,500 when health is below 30%. Reduce damage taken from units by 20%. Cost to rune power. I believe that one was changed. I'm not entirely sure, but I think this is going to be kind of ridiculous, especially if you put this on something like Nodachi. Um, Nodachi has a lot of inbuilt damage reductions, and same with Glaive. Those two guys are gonna have well, I mean, more like Nodachi's gonna go crazy. I feel like Nodachi with the heroic strike, if that returns, I'm pretty sure it is gonna return. Yeah, they keep the heroic strike, but I'll be honest, I'm not gonna read all of these runes. If you guys want to read this yourself, you can pause the screen as I scroll down very slowly and read it yourself. Otherwise, I'll link down below. So I do wish that they wouldn't use runes to balance classes and just balance classes themselves. And I would like some of my super stupid gripes about certain classes be kind of fixed. I mean, newest class, spear and shield and spear. Can you not block like 99% of the time? I can't hit you. I can't break through your damn shield, and God forbid I need to use an ult just to even affect you at all. Your super stupid sidestep is even faster than Mole. Not to mention, it's like you have a rune that makes the cost cheap, so you're just sidestepping everything. God, your shield is also like straight up CC immune. Um, yeah, that's all I want to say. So, Fame Shop's gonna be reset, same stuff, nothing changes, except we get the last Terracotta and the Illustrious Secretary title. Everything else is basically the same. And of course, you got the fame requirements, the bronze coins prices, and the purchase limit from all of those. Oh, probably one of the biggest changes that is going to upset a lot of people. But I think this is a good change in the long run, um, and I'll explain it in a little bit. But anyway, we have the system optimization, barracks interface optimization. The U barracks interface has been redesigned. Warlords can now find all owned and unowned units on the new barracks main page. View detailed information about unowned units and directly navigate to locations where units can be acquired. Each unit can be tested in the training camp, and for some units, battle demonstration videos are available. You can view specialty tags for each unit to quickly understand their combat characteristics and battlefield roles. More comprehensive and accurate filtering functions are now available, making it easier and faster to find specific units. Now, this specialty tag, um, it feels like it's kind of after the fact. It's kind of like someone has gone through, looked at these guys, and slapped on an extra tag for these guys. So these might be wrong or not intended with the original design um, of the unit, but they are supposed to represent how they're played or what they specialize in, kind of thing. But that being said, don't take it at gospel. I think a couple of them just makes no sense. I think when I took a look at them on the PTR, they updated them most recently, so maybe more accurate information now. As you can see, this blue and green tags are supposed to have these specialty tags for them, and obviously you got all the normal information. Now you have the changes in the unit building process. Optimize the process of unit building has been optimized. Unlocking a unit in the unit tree will now automatically complete its build without consuming any materials or bronze coins. Optimize the setting of barracks unit capacity. Manual unit build is no longer restricted by the unit's capacity limit. For units that have already been built, repeating the build will consume the item expansion permit times 1. Only units built multiple times can be disbanded. Otherwise, the disband option will not be available. Okay, so you got unit. Oh. Let's pause there for a quick second. Now, why I think this is a good change. First of all, I never liked the unit capacity limit. It was stupid. Absolutely stupid. Why? Because early on, I already expanded to the 100 limit. They increased it to 150. I am at 184 units. Crazy, I know, right? There's not even 184 units in the game. I just got a lot of duplicates. Now, the reason why I think this is a good change is that it makes the barracks so much more streamlined in terms of looking at available units, looking at units you can unlock, and then clicking on them in order to look at them, use them in a trial period, as in training camp, and see what they do. That's really important to just kind of like get information. For people who's played a really long time, you can get that information easily because you know where to go. But a lot of times people just see glimpses of these things and it's just like, oh, what do these guys do? Without really understanding anything. And they're just like, oh, how do I get them? Go, 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 go. Click, 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 click. Without even looking at all of this information. Now it's all just really easy in the same spot. Just click on your barracks, just click on the unit that you want to look at, and even if you don't have it unlocked, you can take a look at the units. So that's really good, I think. Of course, the fact that clicking on the unit will also give you the option to press the unlock button, or I mean, like however they set it up. I don't think we had the option to even test recruiting or unlocking a unit in this case, but it'll send you straight to how to unlock the unit. Now, the other thing is multiple unit builds. I don't mind that the expansion permits are now only used to build multiple units, but the caveat here is that these expansion permits feel like they're just going to be they're consumables. So if you disband a unit that you made a duplicate of, um, do you keep that expansion to make another duplicate of a different unit, or do you waste that expansion permit to now not have a duplicate if you disband it? That's just one of my queries. But overall, getting rid of the unit capacity limit, good thing, because at some point you start out, you get all of the unit tree units, and it's just like you ran out of space. This is less of an issue because seasonal units all come with their own slots, but as long as you have that little discrepancy where the number of units in the unit tree is greater than the starting number of unit capacities, you're always going to need more, you're always going to need expand in order to get every single unit. I think, and I do, and I do think that every single player should not have to basically jump through a hoop in order to have one of everything. Everything you should always be able to unlock everything without sacrificing a part. Convenience on some other things such as having duplicate units for different builds and stuff. That's entirely up to the player at this point, um, because very unlikely to always have duplicates for every single unit. So I think these expansion permits for only duplicates is reasonable, I would say. We have unit training camp. More mastery units will be added as options in the unit training camp. That's a bit weird. More mastery units will be added as options in the unit training camp. I don't know what that means. Anyway, they have redone the unit training camp and they have redone the training camp. So you have the normal training camp and then you have the unit training camp, and they've it's been completely redone. So take a look at it when you see it. Store. Exclusive unit attires have been added to the store. Warlords can view the available attire via C. Store attire. Unit attire. The new attire includes Iron Reapers, Traditional Power, Sunwoods Phalanx, Fairy Tail Guards, and the Oni Musha Lone Fox unit attire. Wow, this is the first time that exclusive attires have kind of returned. Interestingly enough, wonder if they're going to bring back other ones. Hmm. But those have been added. Honestly, I think the Lone Fox unit attire is the best looking one. I think traditional power is very hilarious. I do like slapping people with fish. Though the Fairy Tail Guard one looks awful with that ginormous bobblehead looking thing. Also, Christmas trees at the end of their pikes. But again, if you think that's funny, that's fine. I think like I found that traditional power is just enough of a joke, um, slash looking serious enough to like kind of fit in with the theme. Unfortunately, the Fairy Tail Guard's just way out there, too ridiculous for me. Now, visual interaction and adjustment. We got the hero outline. When a hero is blocked by units or other dynamic objects on the battlefield, a distinct outline will appear to clearly show the hero's position. This function can be opened or closed in settings, graphics settings, hero outline. Outline feature, you're in front of your units, and you can see yourself. Fairly good enough. And if you can see in this screen here, the camera is a bit different. Yes, they've changed the camera. I think I probably didn't mention this before, but like they've changed the camera a little bit. It's a little bit more zoomed out. Dynamic object transparency. Dynamic objects between the hero and camera now become semi-transparent, making it easier to locate your hero. This function can be opened or closed in settings, graphic settings, auto hide. New hero and unit overhead indicators. New UI indicator have been added above hero and units, making it easier to locate your hero and unit. This function can be opened or closed in settings, UI, hero overhead indicators, or unit overhead indicators. if you can see clearly on the screen, they got that little dot overhead. This makes it easier to keep track of your units when they're in an infantry pile, but it's going to still be absolutely awful when they get ran over by cavalry, because cavalry is just really, really tall, and will cover up those dots anyway. Units off-screen indicator. When units are outside your field of vision, more prominent indicators will point to their directions. As you can see, I mean, like, you already have your kind of like unit thing. Damage number animation optimization. It's a little bit of a change. It's a little bit more prominent. The special like backstab and uh like critical hits are much more bigger than normal numbers. So they kind of like do the dynamic kind of font scaling with a couple of different types of with the different types of type what the hit types of things. Anyway, the animation for damage numbers dealt by players in battle have been enhanced. Damage numbers for brace weapon types has been added. Whoa, what the hell? Damage numbers for brace weapon types has been added, allowing for better battle experience. Man, I did not pay attention. Then again, on the PTR, they did not explain this. UI visual style optimization. We will gradually update the overall UI with a more stylized design to better match the game's characteristics. I get it. CB has its own style that it's kind of recreating now. Been a long time coming. Definitely needed a UI update, but a lot of players will like the old UI. I think this is just kind of making a few things more prominent and a less and just kind of like adding a little bit of style to it. Whether or not you think it's a good or bad direction, do tell them. They really want your feedback in what kind of style you think matches this game. For me, there's so many clashing styles. At this point, they just need to choose one, stick with it, and see where it goes. So we have new player experience adjustments, new player privilege. Wow, you're getting privileges now. To help new warlords, the unit development decisions, we have introduced an exclusive privilege system for new players before reaching level 100. Warlords can reset unit levels, unit masteries, and veterancy points for free. Additionally, doctrine removal and sealing of unit tree nodes are also free. New player benefits the welfare for unlocking units. The new warlord has been upgraded. Newly registered accounts will unlock the 4-star unit Kriegsbrothers after completing the Recruitment 1 quest. Upon completion, the beginner login bonus event will also be unlocked. On the second day of the event, the login reward will be upgraded to the 5-star unit Tertial Arquebusiers. Neither of these units are in the meta. Kriegsbrothers are actually quite good for bandit camps and stuff. Tertials, not great at all. Their DPS is really low. You're just going to get rinsed out by everyone. And I mean everyone. They're pretty tanky. You can use their gimmick of the triple shots to snipe out heroes and stuff, but frankly, unless you got some really heavy support, ranged units do not DPS as hard as they should, unless you're playing with harangs and you're about 100 meters away. Match battles. To improve early battle experience, the new warlords um, a new matching mode training battle has been introduced, and the required level to unlock matched siege battles has been adjusted to level 15. Okay, so for the first few levels, you're doing training battle. In training battles, warlords can focus on and become familiar with maps suitable for beginners, then gradually transition to more intense matched siege battles. The new player training camp is not affected by world campaign and allows deployment of up to 5-star units. So the training camp, free training camps, and unit training camp has been optimized. Op- improving the practice experience for units, artilleries, and siege battles. You know, there's always been training battles or like battle against the AI, and they are on small maps. I'm pretty sure. I think they're mostly field battles as well. I don't think anyone goes there, mostly because it's just like the AI is terrible and they don't adjust to like your level kind of thing, or maybe not. Um, okay, you got access method one, J training simulation, free training camp slash unit training camp. Uh, access method two, tab free training camp, unit training camp, or speak for the respective training to enter. Others, the rule for displaying units in the tent has been adjusted. Units will now change based on recent usage frequency in matched battles. Whew. Guidance effect has been optimized in the unit deploy, unit interface, and skill interface. Territory war adjustment, cross-region migration adjustments in the following servers. Migration expeditions between Longting, Liangyun, and Austere regions can be conducted via the cross-server forts or agents. APAC and E. So basically, three region APAC. So you got the Lotus Ash Sea, Dragon Rise Island, Red Rock Creek, uh, Crystal Sea, and the Elysium Peak. In the future, we will explore more combinations of open regions, allowing warlords to migrate through cross-server forts and agents. Ugh. My nose is so itchy, I don't know why. I even moisturized. Adjustment to house level requirement for war declaration. The required house level to declare war on the following city fiefs in territory have been adjusted from level 4 to level 3. All of those cities, I have not going to butcher those names. And we have some bug fixes. Fixed an issue where the unit type description for Matchlock Ashigato was incorrect. Fixed an issue where the Demez Pikemen could not use sprint while in block formation, interestingly enough. Fixed an issue where Janissaries would behave abnormally when following in the C state. In the C key state, that's interesting. I've not seen that before. Maybe it's because I don't use Janissaries in a super long time. Fixed an issue where in the Battle of Thermopylae, where certain areas could trap heroes and prevent movement. I have not experienced this myself. Fixed an issue where leaders, vice leaders, and marshals of non-command houses at the same fief could supervise fronts started by other houses. Fix a rare crash that could occur when entering a siege with DLSS enabled. Fix a rare issue where shield break visual effects would behave abnormally after a unit performs a shield break attack. Fix a rare issue where shield break visual effects would behave abnormally after a unit performed a shield break attack. Hmm. Okay. No idea what that issue is about. So rare, I don't even know what it is. If you guys know what it is, please do tell me. I'd love to know what it is. But that is all for those announcements. Oh yeah, why not also plug in shameless plug in. Whoops, daisy. That's not what I wanted to do. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Ah. Oh, goddamn. Shameless plug-in. Just gonna shove that right in there. Should have just went to the text file and increased the font. Uh, anyway. Yeah, those are my codes. If you guys are new players, use the one starting with the S, and if you're returning players, use the one with the R. I think the returning players are just players that did not log in between a certain period. I'm not exactly sure what the restriction is, but please use it. It'll help me out. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you enjoy the upcoming season for Conqueror's Blade. Other than that, my name's Azakai. Have a nice day. Bye for now.